Hello everybody, what is up? My name is Zero Solstice, and I hope you are in this one for the long haul, because this is going to be a very long video, because we have some Dota 2 action here, and if you've ever played Dota 2, then you know that these games tend to run for an extremely long amount of time. So, I hope you're ready to sit down, put on your headphones, and listen to some good stuff, because we got some communicating to do. Alright, so the reason I'm using this gameplay is because, number one, I play Dota. It's actually a very enjoyable game, though it is very difficult for the most part, because there's a very large amount of mechanics that you have to keep track of all at the same time, making it just a tad, it's just, no, pardon me, a little bit of yawn. It just makes it a little bit more difficult to multitask everything at the same time, and it's just, oy. Another reason is because this is a game using, it was single draft initially, and I don't know why it was single draft. I never picked single draft, and it just kind of threw me in here with single draft, but I got lucky because one of my options was Crystal Maiden, and Crystal Maiden is pretty much my main in this game, just because I like playing this game's versions of high intelligence burst carries. So heroes like Vengeful Spirit, she isn't an intelligence carry, but she deals a lot of nice damage, has her own CC, and a very interesting ultimate, which is rather fun. I like to play Lina, I like to play Crystal Maiden. Heroes like that are just enjoyable to me in this game. And I just kind of got lucky that my best hero was the one of the options that popped up for me in single draft. So, there you have it. And I'm using this game because it's actually a pretty good display of how strong Crystal Maiden is in the lane phase, especially once you hit about level 2. Maybe level 3 if you're going for a little bit extra damage, but level 2 is where the magic really begins, because you have solid CC and very strong burst that early, but it uses a ton of your mana, so you've got to be very careful about how much you feel like spamming it. Right here, Phantom Assassin, not too safe on the whole with that whole decision, but yeah, you gotta be careful for Brewmaster. He's very durable. He has pretty solid damage, especially when he thumps down. Good, solid AoE. We generally just have to sit back in this lane for a little while because their lane's actually kind of like ours. They have a melee farming that deals very reasonable damage, and they have a ranged intelligence carry that deals pretty fair amount of his own damage and lends a lot of aid. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the gameplay. I got completely sidetracked by it because I'm watching it at the same time that I am recording this. The reason I'm recording this is because I want to go through a lesson in psychology. And by a lesson in psychology, I mean, if you've ever played these games before, then you know that they either require or display a very prominent amount of psychology and how the average human psyche reacts in different kinds of situations. I should have frozen him right there the minute he walked way too close, but whatever. We'll get him next time, don't you worry. So, stemming from that note, the topic that I generally want to talk about today is team cohesion and average gamer philosophy. And the reason for that is because, as you will eventually see in this game, my team will start to pick up a very solid lead because we all win our lanes early on, and we all get a couple kills early on, and it just turns into this giant mess where I think it gets to like 8 kills to 1 kill, and when that happens, a number of the enemy team players actually just kind of rage quit. And that is a no-go. If you have ever played League of Legends, Han, Dota 2, any MOBA game, then you are in tune with the fact, or at least I would hope that you are in tune with the fact that they require the utmost display of, I can't say skill, but input. They require the absolute display of input from everyone on the team. And if that doesn't happen, then the game is guaranteed to lose, because you need all 5 pieces of the puzzle to really make things work. But even that, later in the video, you will see is false, because at the same time that you have to give full team input, you also have to give full team cohesion and competence. Otherwise, nothing is gonna work. I want to kill this Brewmaster. I think Phantom Assassin really wants to kill this Brewmaster. We're probably gonna kill this Brewmaster, but that's besides the point. So, full team input. What do most modern games teach most modern gamers about how to be a modern gamer? When you start to lose, you bitch, piss, moan, and then leave and try to find another game. Now, why is that a problem? That is a giant problem, because Phantom Assassin is going way too hard when I'm not really nearby. But why that's a problem is because most games don't require full input from your teammates, because, oh, you left the game in the middle of Call of Duty after you swore at everybody, called them faggots, and then rage quit. Okay, some other person will get put in right in your place. That's not really fair, because now you just took the time, bye-bye Warlock, you just took the time to get crushed and completely put the game into an almost unwinnable scenario, and yet you're going to put me in place of him and cost me an easy, free, unwanted loss just because some other kid is a douche, doesn't know how to play the game right as a team player, and just ruined everybody's day? No, that's pretty freaking stupid. And I mean, if you play League of Legends, you actually know that if you try leaving a game, it'll specifically tell you this is not the right thing to do, you're abandoning your team, and you will be punished for it. Not only do they tell you that you should not leave your games, but even if you still leave your game, you can't even go to play another game if you wanted to. Your only option is to reconnect to the game that you just left. Why is that awesome? We totally just plucked him out. God. Pudge. That man is just disgusting. Literally, but also figuratively. But, kind of got lost because my mind is going in like 15 different directions with this topic at the same time. But I mean, it's like when your team is going one way and everyone else is going the other, and then you're just standing there in the middle all like, I don't care. You're doing nothing helpful at all for anybody. And what's even worse is when people refuse to communicate with the team, and they're just like, oh, this game's lost already, I've died like twice in my lane, I'm just gonna feed him 5 more kills, because it doesn't matter. And that's just, people just have the wrong, they just have the wrong idea about how these games should be played. They're not, it's like they don't believe in the fact that the team with enough cohesion and enough listening to each other and trying is going to be able to come out on top, even if you screw up here and there. Because at the end of the day, everybody screws up. There is never a time where you'll find people are flawless, period, all the time, no matter what, in any scenario. Let's take League of Legends, for example. You'll never find a point where people aren't getting ganked, or missing CS, or dying in lane, or what have you. Something is causing them to make mistakes. Whether it's themselves, or actually all of that would generally be themselves, because if you're dying in lane, then it's probably because you're putting yourself out of position and playing way too overly aggressive. If you're getting ganked, it's probably because you're putting yourself out of position, you're going too overly aggressive, and you're not warding. And if you're missing CS, that's purely on you. Because in League of Legends, unlike Dota, you can't deny enemy farm by killing your own creeps. So the only way you're missing CS is if you just misjudge your attack damage and you just can't do it. At which point, yeah, it's all on you, bro. So, I mean, no matter how you look at it, it comes down to the individual, but it revolves around working with the team. And this Warlock is not having a good game. And as you see on the scoreboard at the top, it is 2-10, and someone on the enemy team has already rage quit. And this is where things just generally start to go downhill, because I just got a double kill. Why? Because damage is high, and I need to GTFO, because this guy deals high damage. Because damage is high. So, do not worry. Oh, God, pardon me, it's early in the morning. This is a while to think and talk. Sorry about that. But as you see the scoreboard, it is 11-2, and that one DC of theirs will not be the last. But that is why this game is so fabulous, and I wanted to use it ever so badly. It is not because it is a wonderful game on everybody's part. In fact, in relation, it is actually a fairly shitty game. And that is because of a point that I've already spoken about 3 times now. That bounty hunter, ain't no way, ain't no way. Hit him with all the slows, and then trucked him into a wall.